Hello, friends and enemies. Welcome back to Weekly Allowance, the only environmentally friendly toy review show. That's not true, but we do try to do what we can. There's only so much an individual can do, though. The rest is up to the corporations, and therefore, I don't have high hopes. But that's a whole different video. Today, we are talking about the Dasin 112 Captain Planet Foundation Earth Guardian. So, it's Captain Planet Foundation, but it's not Captain Planet. This is Earth Guardian. So, obviously, a third-party toy company making I wouldn't even really call this a knockoff because I don't think it's knocking off anything. There's just not a figure, there's not an official Captain Planet figure recently that I know of. So they are just tapping into a market that has yet been untapped. We're definitely not strangers to third-party toy companies. We've gotten a few figures from companies like that, most notably for me, the Yu Yu Hakusho figures. And then SH Figure Arts started coming out with their own Yu Yu Hakusho figures, even though they don't have that many. So I'm interested to see how this stacks up. Box is simple, but that's fine in my opinion. Got a single image of the figure on the front with very interesting background. Don't know what's going on there. I don't think that's a still from the original cartoon, but it's been a while since I've seen it. Window in the front so you can see everything from the thighs up, which is how I like it. It says Earth Guardian here, but up here it also says Captain Planet and the Planeteers 112th action figure. Power Edition Ultimate, I don't know what that means. Maybe it has something to do with these rings. Of course, famously, the Planeteers wore these rings. And it says here, faithfully reconstructed from original 1990s animation cells, every contour echoes the hero's legacy, down to the iris printed Planeteer pledge manual hidden in the collector grade box lining. So I did watch Captain Planet religiously. I went to YMCA before school. My mom would drop me off before school, so it's been about an hour, maybe even an hour and a half there before school, and they'd have morning cartoons playing, and Captain Planet was one of them. Always got there just in time to see it. I was very young though, so I didn't really know what it was about. Would Captain Planet approve of this plastic? I think he would say everything in moderation. All right, the interesting thing about this guy is that he blends in almost perfectly with my setup. So perhaps to you he appears as only some floating hair and red gloves and red boots and underpants. But to me, he looks like a Captain Planet action figure. First thing I notice, and I don't know if this is the fault of the sculpt or the cast, but it's uneven in some areas, like his pecs here. One kind of hangs lower than the other. I didn't realize that was a problem in men. The most notable example is on the back. His scapula here, like the area in between his shoulder blades, is very uneven. It looks like there's a chunk taken out of it, and I can't tell if that is on purpose or not, because it looks very weird. It's not like his costume piece appears that even either. I mean, is that a costume piece? Is that a piece of clothing? Or is that like his flesh? You never know with Captain Planet. I don't really know what he is. Like, is this clothes or is this him? But anyway, yeah, that is weird. It doesn't look like a chunk was taken out. Like, it just looks like it was sculpted that way, but why? And here and there you get some weird bits that probably wouldn't have flown in a rights holder action figure. You got a little bit of paint buildup here. The printing on his Earth logo is a little bit offset. Like with the Yu Yu Hakusho figures, that's something you just kind of overlook with third-party figures, or at least we tend to. Other than that, really not bad. He looks pretty darn clean, which you would want for a Captain Planet figure, because he represents a clean, healthy Earth. The Earth that surely we're living in by now, aren't we? Yeah, very, very nicely sculpted. Really nice paint on his skin, especially. Everything else is kind of bare. These red pieces don't have any shading, but his skin is really nicely airbrushed with some darker blues. Very appealing, and not just in the way that he's a muscular man. Just, I like the soft blue of that airbrushing. Yeah, and like I said, everything else is pretty clean. Looks like definitely a different plastic for the knees and the elbows, but things like that don't typically bother me. Let's get a better look at his face. Also very clean. Pretty simple. Deco for the eyes, just a thin line for the mouth. One piece of hair. Oh, that hair. It was the 90s. It was the early 90s. So, you know how it was. And if you don't know, it was like this. Articulation-wise, it looks like he can do a fair amount. Ooh, neck joint like that. Butterfly. Butterfly doesn't do much, but it's there. bicep swivel, double elbow. Looks like there's several joints in the torso. You got one here, and then one at the waist. So that's a lot. You can do a nice twist, nice leg movement. It can even go back even though he's got kind of a defined butt. Looks like there's a fingerprint or something on his butt. It's not mine. Yeah, nice smooth movement on the knee. These ankles swivel so easily though. They really just want to move. He's foot loose and fancy free than a toe joint. He actually could probably be pretty dynamic. Unfortunately, he doesn't look up really well for a flying pose, but he does have quite a lot of lift in his torso, which compensates a little bit. So he can kind of lift, kind of look up, but that mullet is doing him no favors. Yeah, pretty good articulation. It's smooth. He's fun to move around. These feet just want to twist right out of alignment though. I apologize, I'm bad at posing. I don't know how the human body is supposed to move. Yeah, in certain areas, if you move them a certain way, it looks kind of silly from different angles, but I mean, I think you could do a lot of stuff with them. Ooh, we are running into an interesting issue though. Moving him around, the red from his underpants is starting to rub off on the blue of his legs, it looks like. Because those marks weren't there before. Can you see what I'm seeing? Some red marks right here. I wiped them off and they're gone now, but I'm pretty sure that red is just going to transfer again when you start moving them. Yep, I can see it already just from that little movement. I can see a faint line of red. So that's interesting. I don't know why that is, because this isn't painted, it's just red plastic. So red plastic transfer, that's definitely something to watch out for. I guess my advice is don't leave him in any kind of pose for an extended period of time where anything is bumping up against this red diaper piece. And I wonder if it's the same for all the red parts of his costume. Scrape his hand against his leg. No, I don't see any transfer there. Ooh, so that's interesting. Definitely something to watch out for. So we've got our Captain Planet, and he'll come with 3 alternate faces, so in addition to this one, you get 4. You can take off his hair, take off his head, so you get an angry, gritted teeth look. A smiling, happy, joyous, triumphant look. And then kind of a cocky look. Look at that, that eyebrow raise. Wow. I kind of like that. So you put the head back on and then the hair back on. And another thing I'll say is that the hair doesn't like to stay on very well. It stays on well enough, but it comes off very easily. So yeah, look at this cool dude. In addition, you get this ominous black box, but it shouldn't be so scary because all it does is it holds some hands on this nice stand. I love when these include hand pegs. It also has these inserts because he comes with these 2 Planeteer rings, one in gold and one in silver, and you can put whatever element you feel like in these rings. This center plastic section pops off in theory. My nails are very weak. I can't get it to pop off, but you can place these little inserts and have whatever element you want. So let's go ahead and put in an element and see what we like. My favorite element is water. These are just like plastic discs. Maybe they're paper with a plastic overlay. So you just stick that in, then put the plastic dome right back on top. It's kind of hard to see. There's definitely a ballooning effect. Like if you look at it head on, you can see it fine, but from any angle other than that, it's hard to see what's actually in there. But it is a ring. It can be worn. It's adjustable in theory. I mean, it's not wire or anything. This is just straight plastic. So if you've got a bigger finger than this, it can stretch a little bit. If you've got a smaller finger, then you're kind of out of luck because it can't get any smaller. It's just plastic. It's pretty fixed. But yeah, you get 2 of those, so 2 options there. In addition, this black box functions as a stand of sorts. So you can put your accessories in here, and then you also get this rod, plug it in, and then you can use this thingy to hold him. So it's also kind of a flight stand if you want him in a flying pose. So that's a neat inclusion. Simple, but useful. For hands, he comes with 2 thumbs up hands, 2 pointing hands. The power is yours. 2 relaxed hands and 2 gripping things hands, which is interesting because he doesn't come with a weapon. Captain Planet doesn't need a weapon. His body is a weapon because his body is the planet. And the planet can't be dangerous. So for comparisons, let's see how he stacks up to another nature lover. This is the GT Toys Dasin Kurama. Obviously a larger scale, but another third-party figure. And here he is with the Spin Master Aloy, much more in scale. So yeah, scale-wise, this is going to be a pretty diminutive figure, more in line with the Spin Master series than your more standard size figures. But I'll say that he looks pretty good with Aloy. They would make a righteous team. Here is a very old Tiger Electronics Kwami. So it's been a while since I've seen Captain Planet. It looks like Kwami gets the gold ring. Of course, one of the Planeteers. Very, very old, very plasticky figure. Putting those aside, here he is against the new Yeti Hunter Doc Nocturnal from Mezco. Here is a Hasbro Jubilee. So yeah, compared to them, not that much smaller. Then you bring in something like this kid, I forget his name, from Skeleton Crew, the Black Series figure. So another kid character for Captain Planet to interact with. There, the scale gets a little wacky too, because this kid looks very large in comparison to Captain Planet. But again, scale isn't something I'm necessarily worried about in any of my figures. So yeah, just kind of a neat figure to have, even if you don't have really anything else to display him with. A nice singular figure. He's fun to play with, easy to move around, fun to move around. I really like this handy case where you can put all the parts, and it also doubles as a stand. So far, I've only gotten a couple figures that do that, and it's very useful. I don't know why more companies don't do that. So yeah, a few minor issues here and there. Definitely watch out for the paint rub on this diaper piece, because that could be a problem. But yeah, if you're looking for a Captain Planet, as far as I know, this is kind of the best option at the moment. And I'm not just saying it's like a settle for it kind of thing. It's actually pretty good. As always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. And I will see you guys on the next one.